have Director Vishal out on the stage and Dr. Thomas Headberg, who's the chaplain for the Parliament of the World Religions. And we're going to have a Q&A with audience participation, so you can ask some questions about the film.
I feel like I want to go to a quiet room and kind of really reflect on all that I've experienced in the film. And I feel like right now is part 2, because we got to listen to the directors in a previous session before we had seen the movie. So I'd like to be very brief and just ask you what most inspired you before you made the movie, then during and after. What changes, transformations did you go through?
This movie, at the first place, thank you so much for loving the project, loving the film. I really appreciate it, very glad. Well, the movie in itself was a big journey. You know, it was such a profound journey for us that not only me as a director, but our whole unit, our whole team, you know. And it was just a thought. And if I tell you, again, like in the earlier session that I said, you know, I don't know whether you'll believe me or no, but that's the truth that I'm saying, nothing but the truth. And there was one fine afternoon, we were all sitting in our office back in India, and, you know, we had this thought of doing something. We wanted to make a project, you know, which would benefit the world. But we quite didn't have an idea as to what we want to do. You know, and just we discussed and spoke about nothing and everything, and we all dispersed but me. You know, I was still sitting in the room, and I don't know, I was sitting in silence in connection with my own real self, and something happened at that time. Really, truly speaking, something happened, and I don't know what it was, but I just started typing. You know, I just started typing, and I was in that state of trance, you can say. You know, it was like that. But I was conscious that I was typing, but I was not conscious enough to know what I was typing. You know, it was that state of mind. And I was in that state for about 2.5 hours. And after about, say, 2.5 hours, I had the first write-up of this film, you know, which was not a script as yet, but it was a pre-script, you can say, you know, just in a nutshell that, okay, now this can be developed into a proper film, proper script. We were not a big production house. We were a studio. We still are a studio, a good, okay sort of a studio, but not a major production house to pull off such a kind of a production. But it was that faith, you know, it really kept on going, you know. It was in that way. So yeah, it was an evolving process, evolution, and well, we triumphed, I think.
Definitely not Bollywood. I would imagine there are dozens of questions. And I think it's maybe unfair to say only ask a question. I think it's very valid after an in-depth experience like this, that if you don't necessarily have a question, I think it's valid for you to maybe speak on something that really struck you.
This film really spoke to me, and it really talks about the triumph of the Spirit. And I am so pleased to hear that you put it in a film that's going to go all over the world, saying, go within yourself, find the Spirit. That is the message people need to hear today. And truly, you have put in cinema the answer people are looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your connection. I'm really glad that you connected with the film, because that was the whole idea. Because, you know, in our struggle of survival, in our, the rush, the run that we are continuously on 24/7, we kind of lost our own selves, So this film is a humble endeavor to actually connect everyone with their own true spirit, with their own true self. And we have tried to show how you can do that in your own ways. We're not conflicting with any religion, any belief, any faith, but it's just whatever your belief system is, we just want to enhance that so that you can benefit the most out of that. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I was profoundly touched by the beautiful way that you did incorporate interfaith with absolute respect for all of the faith expressions.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you on the film. I think it was a marvelous project to bring us into the reality of what life can be like, and at the same time move us beyond into the importance of the soul and the function that the soul has in helping us to get through whatever life brings us. I'd like to also ask you, I happen to personally know Sister Janti. She did some writing for us in the world scriptures, the Brahmakumara scriptures. Could you say how you happened to reach Sister Janti and others who have been so prominent in your film?
Let me tell you that how we approach Sister Jayanti. Well, Sister Jayanti is a very close elder sister to us because we are a part of Brahmakumaris. You see, we are from India, from Mount Abu, and you would be aware that Mount Abu is the international headquarters of the Brahmakumaris, international, right? So that's how Sister Jayanti, and we have been with her from quite some time, maybe a lot of years, many years, yeah. That was Sister Jayanti because Sister Jayanti is like, she's our elder sister. So, but apart from Sister Jayanti, other people that we communicated with, we contacted, I would like to share this thing with you, how we approached these people and how we ultimately got those people in our film. The first thing is the thought of approaching people, good people, sharing good thoughts was always there, okay? Initially when we started the project, the evolution part that I'm coming to, it was like we had this thought, okay, I have to go ahead with this, go to this place, meet up with these people, schedule their appointments, do the interviews, ask these questions, and that's it. But does it happen all the time what you want? It doesn't. You see, it really doesn't. So it's like you need to then decide, well, when I tried it once, twice, there were some hindrances, there were some complications that used to come up, and in the very initial phases, I'm talking about 2009, the end of 2009, so then it was like we had to do something to ourselves to not get frustrated with these situations. So what we decided was, okay, we will do what we have to do at that very point of time and just leave that thought. Just leave that. Don't get stuck up. Because if I want to meet one person X, and if that person X is not meeting me at the time, or he's not available at the time, so maybe there is another person Y who is really better than that person and who would do more justice to my film by way of conveying the message in a better way to the world, And once we start, I'm talking on behalf of my whole team. It's not just me, right? So once we started doing that, I really tell you, we experienced magic. It was as if, like, we were not selecting people to be in the film. The people were actually selecting the film to be on board. Really, it was that. I mean it. Yeah, likewise, we met up with Uri Geller. Uri Geller is, again, a very good friend of ours now. We met the United Nations representatives, Dr. Judy, Dr. Ani. And then we have this wonderful person, Lord Nazir Ahmad, who is in London. He's like the most sought after Muslim lord in the country, So we communicated with him, and now it's like they've become part of the family now. It's the whole unit became a part of the family. And again, this was just the people that we identified. But again, the survivors, that was a big challenge, The survivors were like, we wanted stories which were compelling, It's like not just any story, Stories which would really, from one heart, to another. The stories had to travel. So we really wanted those kind of stories. And to find those, again, the same thing, we tried to find, we couldn't, but then, the stories found us. It wasn't that way. Yeah, I can elaborate it on and on, but, later.
Is there another question?
Just want to congratulate both you and Prashant for a very ambitious project. It really is, just to step out and see where the winds take you. And as you said, the stories found you. I have a question actually for Prashant, because you had the vision, but he had to bring your vision to life. So I want to hear from your end, not just the technical bit, but the photographer, the editing, that's the next level of story making. So,
hi everybody, it's Prashant here. Actually, Vishal said it all. And the best part of our team was all for one and one for all. So, he used to, at the very first place, when Vishal had this thought to design this film, once he first shared the thought that, brother, we should do a film of this concept. And after hearing the concept, I just told him, bro, it's not possible. I told, how can it be possible? Because we are just, such a small group of brothers, young brothers, and you have a vision of this sort, like, trying to identify all these different stories from different places. And we don't have infrastructure, we don't have funding, we don't have connections. It's really next to impossible. And this guy said, no, it's possible. I kept on saying, no, I think it's impossible, we really have to think about it. And he repeatedly said, no, it's possible, no, it's possible. So when we saw the faith and trust and the confidence that he had on this thought, really helped us to move forward. And as Vishal said, I call him Bhau, means big brother. As Bhau said, it was not we who designed the film, it was the film who designed itself. And for me, as being a technical guy and a creative person, Vishal had this amazing thoughts and ideas, and he had this eye to get the essence and the positive approach of each and every story out of it. But to translate that for me and to re-edit it was a bit of challenge. But as we said, without these stories, just imagine you are trying to edit 4 stories, 5 stories with this remarkable experience of life and death and God while editing, because you've just seen the entire film. But for me, this was thousands and thousands of gigabytes of data, days and nights, and seeing their pain and the way they've transformed themselves. I can assure you, when we started this project, we were really a different person. And now, after seeing their transformation and their hope in life, no matter what, really made us think hard, and we are really a different person now. We've grown a lot.
Yeah, it's our growth also, because we did not imagine, until we didn't step out of our own domain, we didn't imagine that these things, these horrors and this kind of situation is being faced by people, and how can they face it, or how can other people do it to some other people, It's like the depth, where is the depth, It's humanity at its lowest.
Your film was amazing. It was beautiful. And can you believe it that I cried? It was that touching. I felt it. And I also want to thank Renee and what's her name? Viveka for inviting me. I work here at the Scarborough. I'm a security guard. My name's Virginia. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming and for making this event so special. Okay, and the film, I'm not going to forget, it was very amazing. It was touching. It gave me a message that it's never too late. There's no age limit to make your dreams come true. I'm a security guard, and I believe God gave me other talents to do, and I'm going to start working on that. And I want to say again, thank you, and I love you.
Sweet.
All right.
Brothers. Okay, so
you're just not two guys sitting on a stage. What we're seeing here is something greater. We're seeing your family. We're seeing your parents. We're seeing your culture. We're seeing forever around you. We're seeing, your ancestors. Because you are standing on the shoulders of something. You can't take credit for this. And we're also seeing your spiritual community who is working in the background too. And really, to me, maybe this is more of a comment than a question, but what I'm most impressed in my heart with here is leadership. Because when I see the many, many people involved in your various crews in these 14 different, international locations, I'm seeing a talent there of leadership that is extraordinary. And this is, Renee, really, I have never seen an interfaith film that touched Christianity in such an important, respectful way. Because usually what happens is that the Christians are kind of upset with interfaith. And what you have done really importantly here, I believe, is that you have allowed interfaith to be okay with a lot of Christians. Now, Thomas here is a Catholic and a Jesuit priest formerly, and I'd like him also to address that. Thomas, did you not feel that this film will reach an enormous Christian base that is usually blocked off from interfaith?
It's so right. The incorporation and the profound respect of all of the faith expressions are there. And it's, as you said earlier, an experiential level of pain, suffering, samsara, and healing with the change of a mindset of defeatism or anger, rage, or revenge, but of hope, forgiveness, trust, willingness to work together. And I'd love to see a sequel to this.
It's a series.
A series.
It's a series.
Also, with the creativity, and I also particularly like the animation. I was just in awe. I'd like to see, I wish there was some kind of a handout afterwards that could say, okay, what can I do? I want to support you folks. I literally want to go to India. I've been there once before, but I want to honor the Brahma Kumaris, or I have some friends. I want to be a part of any other project that you have, because I just think God has touched you and called you, and you are deserving of all the support that is possible.
So the ultimate, the aim of this project, the message that we really want to give the whole world is, no matter how devastated the situation of the world is, still there is hope. Please do not leave hope and do not leave dreaming, because there is someone up there, no matter you don't recognize him right now, okay? Maybe your time has not come to recognize him right now, but mind you, believe me, he is watching you, and the moment, and he's waiting. As I said earlier also, he is waiting to help you, to uplift you guys, but it's just us. We got to leave our weaknesses so that he can touch us, It's in that way. We were touched, so we want you also to be touched. I think that's it.
Yeah.